Hi guys, you're welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be drafting a double-breasted cropped blazer with a picked collar. And I already went ahead to draft my front bodies like this. And for the neckline, I came out by 3 inches for the width and I went down by 3 inches for the depth, just like I'm indicating. And then I used 17 inches for the length of this blazer because of course it's a cropped blazer. And then I also went ahead to put in my bust and my waist measurement. On the center front line, I left like 5 or 6 inches for the space for the overlap. I'm not going to be using that much space, but just for convenience. Now the next thing that I'll do is to extend this shoulder line. It's totally optional. You might not extend yours, but I'll always like to do this just for easy understanding. So I'll just extend that line like so. Now from that neckline, I'm going to be coming out by 0.5 inch. 0.5 inch. You could do 0.25, you could do 1 inch. Then I want to determine where I want my breakpoint to be, or where my lapel is going to be folding, where the fold is going to start from. So I'm going down by 1 inch from my armhole line, which happens to be my bust point line, which is 10 inches. So that's where I want my lapel to start folding from, or that is my breakpoint. I hope you understand. Then from that breakpoint, you come out by the amount of overlap you want for your blazer. I'm doing 3.5 inches for my overlap, so that's just what I'm marking to the waist, and then I'll just connect all the points together. This 3.5 that I came out by, it's not a fixed amount. You could do 4 inches, you could do 5 inches. Totally depends on what you want for your, how deep and how overlapped you want your blazer to be. I hope you understand. Now what I want to do is to connect from the 0.25 that we marked earlier down to the new breakpoint outside there, just like that. You just mark a slanted line to connect those 2 points together, just like that. Now we need to fold this paper because we need to trace the neckline. So I'll just fold it from that slanted line. You fold it like so. Now you take your tracing wheel and you trace that neckline out. You trace it onto the next like paper. You know there's a paper under now that you folded it. So now you trace it on it now. Trace the neckline like so. So after tracing, you have dotted lines on the other side of the paper. Follow those lines and use a curved ruler to mark out the neckline on the other side, just like I'm doing. Now you come to the center of that slanted line where the two necklines are meeting. Mark out 2 inches. You could do 2.5, you could do 1.5, it depends on you. Mark out I'm marking 2 inches out here, just like that. Then you rule it out, just like that. Now from the end of that 2 inches, you mark out another 2 inches, but this time around you slant your hand upwards a bit. That's 2 inches right there. See the way I slanted it upwards, facing upwards. So now you connect it together. So you have a total of 4 inches. I hope you understand. It's now 4 inches. Now 2 inches at first, then the second time again 2 inches. So that's that. Now we'll connect it to that break point to draw out our lapel. Now that we've drawn out our lapel, we have to trace it onto the other side. We have to trace it to the other side. So we'll fold our paper once more through that slanted line, just like we did earlier. Just like that. You take your tracing wheel and you trace out the lapel. By the time you open up the paper, you see dotted lines. That is the shape of the lapel you just traced. So you just take your ruler and then you mark these dotted lines. You follow the dotted lines and mark out the shape of your lapel on the other side, just like I'm doing. Now the next thing that we'll do now is to come to that neckline part and then go out by 0.25. From the neckline you go out by 0.25, just like I'm doing there. Then you connect it into the neckline, like blend it back into the neckline. The 0.25, you blend it back into the neckline. Then we'll come back to the back pattern because we added 0.25 to the front neckline, we have to do the same for the back. So I'm just adding 0.25 to the back neckline as well and blending it back into it. After blending, now we can take our round measurement for the back. And I got 4 inches for the back, so I'll come up to that point like that and then impute the 4 inches I got for the back on a slanted line. I'll place the 4 inches there and then connect it on a slanted line, just like that, back into the front neckline, just like I'm doing. Then I'll come out by 0.5. From that point, I'm coming out by 0.5 and blending it back into the neckline. This is because we want the collar to sit very well on our neck. That's why we are adding that 0.5. Then from that part, I want my collar width to be 3 inches. So I'm going to be marking the 3 inches from that part, not from the 0.5 we added. From the original point, I came out by 3 inches, and then I'll just connect all the parts together. So the next thing is I want to determine how I want my peaked collar to look like. So from that line, from the notch at the center, I will come up by 1.5 inches. You could do 1 inch, totally depends on you. Then from that 1.5 inch, I will slant my hand slightly out, just a little bit. And then I'll connect it back into that notch at the center. Just a little bit, guys. Just a little bit of slant, a little space. Then I'll connect it back just like that. Now we have to trace it back onto the other side. Remember, whatever we do on that side must be traced to the other side. So I'm folding the paper once more and I'll use my tracing wheel to trace out that little slant that we did the other time. Just a little bit, yeah, just trace it like that. Now you trace the dotted lines, the corresponding dotted lines, you trace it out. You mark it with your pencil or your marker. Now I want to connect the collar down to the mouth of that peaked what would I call it now, the mouth of the collar, basically, just like I'm doing. You connect it like that. Now I want to use marker to redraw the lines so you can see the lines better. I hope now it's clearer now that I've drawn it with a marker. So that's just it. So that's the peaked mouth. That's the you place your buttons there and there because it's a double-breasted, remember. So on that top, I'm just indicating that it's going to be on fold. When you're cutting it, that side is going to be on fold, that side of the collar will be on fold. And now I'll just cut out this pattern. So that's your lapel, as you can see when you fold it. And then I'm just indicating the notches. When you're cutting on fabric, you notch those areas. That is where the lapel is going to join the collar when you're joining it on the fabric. So that's what I'm indicating there, and that's the little opening for the picked collar. Now I'm just cutting out this princess dart, cutting it out just like that. So you'll be cutting two of that on fabric, two of that as well, and one of that for the main fabric. Then you cut one again for the lining, and you do that for the other ones too. You cut their linings too. If this video was helpful, guys, give me thumbs up, subscribe, share my video. Until I see you in my next video, bye.